Hey there, today we're going to do a little video showing how to save a ferrule on between the golf shaft and the actual iron with a graphite shaft. Alright, so let me take the camera and pan on down. Now this is not the easiest thing in the world to do. It takes a little time and a little patience. But see, I like to save the ferrules because you can reuse them again. Why buy them when you can reuse them? So I'm a Cleveland and Strixon staff member, so as you're looking down here, you see you've got the shaft, the graphite shaft, which this is an Aerotech golf shaft, Aerotech steel fiber. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this shaft and reuse it in another wedge. This is a 58-degree wedge. When I originally ordered this shaft, I ordered a stiff 110 gram. Well, I want that weight to go up. I want this shaft a little bit heavier in that 58-degree wedge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this Aerotech Stiff 125 gram. This is the I-125CW shaft, which is the same as the one that's currently in it, except it's only 110 grams. Now the other thing that when I ordered these shafts, when I ordered these wedges, I ordered 3 of them. So let me show you here real quick in between working with the ferrule. So here I have a 50 degree, and I also have a 54 degree, and then working on the 58. Well, what I'm basically doing, and you can already see this here with the 54, and again, when you order them directly from, because I'm an advocate of the steel fiber, when I ordered the wedges from the factory, I wanted steel fiber, but they told me that I couldn't get the 125, so I had to order the 125 grams separately. But now if you look, so what I did was I take my little saw and I very carefully just go down the distance of the length of the ferrule, and I just saw around in a circle until the ferrule breaks free. And that's what I'm in the process of doing with this one. I already did it here with my 54, and I'm going to do it with my 58. These are the new RTX4 wedges. You can see they actually have my initials in them. This is the satin black. They come in a satin chrome. And then they also come in the bronze color. And these are the phenomenal wedges. I'm just upgrading my wedges, and I want these 2 particular wedges to be a little bit heavier with shaft weight. So that's the reason why I'm doing that. And again, you can see now the difference, and why I have that ferrule spaced apart that much is because this shaft is graphite. So in order to get it off, I have to heat basically the tip of the installation area of where the shaft goes into so that the epoxy will come loose. But because this is a graphite shaft and I want to save it, I have to use my Shaftite graft extractor to get that head off, because I can't twist the graphite or you'll ruin the shaft. So you'll see when I install this in here, see, I want to create just enough room that I can basically mount the area where I can get some release to pull that head off of that graphite shaft. Alright, so that's the process. I'm talking out loud, but this is kind of what I do. So I just get it started and then gradually just go around in a circle very softly, because the other thing I don't want to do is I don't want to saw through the graphite shaft. So I have to use my touch and my feel to be able to feel when I've gone all the way through, and just do this very carefully and very gradually. And then as I get one side done, all I really do is just twist a little at a time until I have it just the amount that I need, so that I can get ready to remove the ferrule back. And to be perfectly honest, I mean, I don't know if somebody has an easier way to do this. I haven't found one. It's just basically a little bit of elbow grease and a little bit of patience. But at the end of the day, I'm trying to be as careful as possible because I'm trying to save all of the pieces. I want to reuse the pieces over again. But, and again, trying to be as careful as possible. You can see already. Now, ferrules aren't expensive. They're cheap. And you can buy them a bunch at a time, but why buy them when you can save them? The other thing is these are Cleveland golf ferrules, Cleveland Strixon. So on the new irons, they actually finally changed the ferrule a little bit. These are the new irons. These are the 785s. I just got these in. So all my short irons have the 110 gram steel fibers in them. But look at the style of that ferrule. Okay, so it's black. It has one chrome stripe on it. And these ones have 2 chrome stripes, and I'm going to use the 2 chrome stripe ones on all of my wedges. That'll keep them looking nice and clean. One last thing before I sum up this video, talking about doing this, is a lot of times too when you pull the ferrule finally off and you get it back far enough out of the way, where's my sanding block? What I did was I put some sandpaper on a flat piece of wood, and then you can just take the ferrule. I don't like to use the electric sanders because what they do is they fray these ferrules way too quick, and I want to keep the ferrules all the same size. So what I do is I just use a block and I take the ferrule and I rub it back and forth until it gets smooth, and then on the other side I have a real fine, very fine piece of sandpaper, and all I do is I go back and forth until it's as level as I can get the ferrule. That way when I reinstall it onto the new shaft like this, so there's the ferrule, this part is real fine and smooth, and it's very level. And so I put the ferrule on, mix my epoxy, clean the head of the old wedge, put the epoxy on the shaft and inside the wedge, and then I press it down to the length that I need. Usually it's about 1.25 inches by the time that's done. That's how far the ferrule will press down onto the shaft, and then the head will obviously connect with the ferrule again all over. And that's the simple process that I use. You can also use, if you have a difficult time, I sometimes use this Golfsmith ferrule pusher. It pushes it down the length, so it just goes on there like that, and then you use that to push the ferrule down the distance you want. But to me it's just a little easier just to use the actual wedge. That way it's inserted down the length, and the hosel fits snugly with the ferrule when it's pushed down into place. There you have it. That's the simple techniques that I use. Again, most importantly, a little bit of patience. Sometimes too, if the ferrule's stubborn, you can heat the, I just use a heat gun, standard Black & Decker heat gun. And what I'll do is just heat the hosel a little bit, not a lot, and just run it across the ferrule a couple times, and then heat the other end of the shaft, and that'll enable you to release the ferrule down out of the way. Alright, thanks for watching this video. Hope you learned a little something on how to save your ferrules, even though again they may be 20 cents. You know, I have a bunch of ferrules that I've bought, and I just, you know, I keep them in here like this. But the only difference is you know, these are just basic black ferrules, and that's great, but I like to use the ones that are already on the clubs, especially since I'm just doing some simple reshafting. Have a good day. Thanks for watching the video.